Welcome back to the channel once again, everyone. We're back with some more Duramax today. Should be a relatively quick, simple video today, guys. What we're going to tackle is the fuel rail plug. This is a cheap, generic plug that I got. It's going to replace the factory fuel rail plug. As you can see, it's just a solid stainless threaded piece. Comes with the O-ring. Really, I see no need to pay top dollar for a name brand fuel rail plug. There are no moving parts with this. It's just simply a stainless plug. You could even reuse the O-ring off the factory one if you want. So this should do the job for us just fine. I'll show you guys the factory fuel rail plug once we get it out and we can compare it to this. The factory comes with a pressure relief valve in it essentially. What we're doing is eliminating that. With the performance upgrades and the tunes, we're asking a lot more of the factory fuel system, basically. Not that I'm having any trouble with mine. Some guys will throw fuel rail codes and different things. Over time, the spring in those can get weak. They're designed, that fuel rail functions under 21,000 plus PSI in there. It's designed to be a relief when you need it. So we're going to eliminate that. There's lots of information out there on the internet about it. Some people say it's a bad thing. The jury's kind of out on that. I see nothing wrong with it. There's nothing out there that shows that going to have issues with it. Lots of guys are running them free of issues. So to me, this isn't exactly a performance upgrade. It's more of preventative maintenance to ensure that I don't have an issue with the factory one that's in there now. We're just going to eliminate it. So like I said, guys, there are those that agree and disagree with replacing the fuel rail plug, getting rid of that bypass, but we're going to do it anyway. If nothing else, it's content for my channel, and if there's problems, I will let you guys know about it. Can't even really see it back there. It's at the back of the fuel rail there. What we're going to have to do is remove the glow plug module first. So we're going to unplug this right at the top there. And to unplug this, you actually have a clip down here, and it pulls out, similar to the ECM. And then once you get that pulled out, right there below the wires, it will pull right off. Then you've got two 10mm bolts, one on each side that hold that on. So we'll go ahead and get those pulled off. And then we're going to have to remove the bracket beneath it. For that, get my hand out of the way here. There's also a little bolt right here. Clips this on it. That's part of the bracket there. So I'll show you that a little better detail when we get to it. So you guys know that we got those two 10mm bolts out of the way. We got it unplugged. We can literally pull the glow plug module right out of the way. As you can see, you got some bolts right under there holding the bracket on. So anyway, guys, these are 12mm bolts here, holding the bracket down. If you can get a good shot, that little one there on that clamp, that's a 10mm there, just for reference. So we'll get these pulled out of the way and get that bracket wrestled out. Alright guys, in theory, once we got all those bolts out, we can finagle the bracket right on out of there. I'm not gonna lie, for some reason, those silly little bolts were ridiculously tight. Now, I don't know if you guys can see or not. Just barely make it out. It's right back here where my finger is. You can just barely see and feel where the head of the plug is. And guys, that's an 18mm. So we're going to get on it as square as possible. I highly recommend using a 6-point for that. You don't want to round it off or you're not going to get it out. You definitely don't want to mess things up and have to pull the whole fuel rail out of there. Something else I want to point out real quick, guys. I want to get a 6-point socket in here. I don't want to try and get a 12-point wrench on there, round that thing off. Sometimes these things come right out, sometimes they're pretty tight. I can't get the socket in there with this piece in here. So you can see it's got two 12mm bolts there. I already got one out. I'm just about to pull the second one out, but I wanted to show you guys what I was doing here before I do that. That way I can get a good square bite on that thing with a socket. So now I'll show you after I'm done fighting with it, you guys. Not gonna lie, a little bit of pain in the rear. There's actually a third one hiding back there on the back side too. Wasn't just the two that you could see. Just so you're aware. if you decide to pull that too. Holy cow. Okay. Well, arm was probably in the way of all of that. Man, those things are tight, you guys, and that's exactly why you want to get as square on that thing as possible. I couldn't have got in there without this ratchet. I needed that perfect angle. I didn't have a cheater pipe big enough, so I had to use an 1 1/8 wrench on top of that for leverage to finally get that thing to pop. I believe they're torqued in there at like 52 pounds, so those things are tight, man. Like I said, you want a 6.18 millimeter, 12 point or something like that. Could have rounded that thing right off, and then good luck getting it out. Alright guys, now I can show you a comparison now that we got it out. So here's the factory plug. You can see it's pressure relief there. Here's what we're replacing it with. Just a stainless plug in place of it. Factory replacement. So what they recommend is using a little Vaseline. Lubricate the threads up here so you don't gall anything. So lube up the threads and the O-ring a little bit here. We'll get this thing in, we'll get it put back together, and we'll make sure we don't have any leaks. Alright guys, not really sure if you can see her or not, but she's in there. Good and snug now, so we'll go ahead and reverse the process, getting all that bracketry put on, get the glow plug module put back on, and we'll get her fired up. Don't freak out guys, this thing of note, you are going to lose some diesel fuel obviously when you pull that plug out. So here we are guys, all buttoned back up, just like it was before we started. Not much to it, that's why I didn't film it, just the exact reverse of the process, undoing it. So let's go ahead and crank on this thing a little bit, see if we can get the fire up. Probably gonna have to crank on it for a little bit since we've lost everything out of the fuel rail. It's got to build pressure back up before it fires, and then we'll double check, make sure we don't have any leaks. We should be good to go. Alright guys, there she is. It's like I said, had to crank on a little bit, build pressure back up in that rail, and then she fired right off. So far I don't see anything leaking, everything looks dry, just like it meant to be, so I'll take it out for a test drive. We'll definitely double check it and go from there. So anyway, this is something you guys are thinking about tackling. Hope this video helps you out. Like I said, if for some reason there's any sort of problems with it, or they become of it, I'll let you know. Obviously, that's why we'll keep the factory fuel rail plug. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. So we'll just save it. Keep it there all neat and tidy just in case. So anyway, thanks again for watching guys. Appreciate the love and support. More to come. Stay tuned.